What's up, guys? I'm Mike and this is 40's Chop Shop. You know me from my Datsun 620 build. Today's video we're going to be unveiling a new truck to work on the channel, and here it is. If you guys know me, this is just my daily driver. It's a 1999 Nissan Frontier, four-wheel drive, V6, manual. Pretty much the most badass 1999 Nissan Frontier you could possibly buy. It has 225,000 miles on it, and when I bought it, it was on its way to the junkyard. So in true 90s Nissan fashion, the first video on this is going to be fixing a few things. I recently dropped this off at my very good friend Steven's house. He just started a shop. If you're in Southern Washington, I will link to his Facebook page. He did valve cover gaskets, vacuum lines, a bunch of maintenance stuff that I just needed to get done. And he did an awesome job fixing all that stuff up. But again, in true 90s Nissan fashion, once I got it back from the shop, a few more things went wrong. So as you can see, I've got a set of Toyota 4Runner wheels on here. Not super stoked on them, but I've got them and they were dirt cheap. I recently got a set of Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws on here, and I really do love these tires, and I plan on keeping them even when I upgrade the wheels. So some of the things that I have done on this thing, I completely refreshed the interior because it was moldy and disgusting when I got it. It had a cowl leak and water was getting in and somebody wasn't taking care of the truck. I also completely cleaned the engine bay, and I replaced a bunch of front suspension components as well as a few of the cosmetic things on the front end. And I did CV axles maybe 2 years ago, and now the CV axle is broken again. So as far as choices for CV axles goes, on Rock Auto there was a $56 option, which to me just seemed crazy and was probably what I got before. $56 for a CV axle is just, I don't know, I just can't trust that at that price. I don't know what it is about that just disconnected my brain. And the other option was a four-wheel drive off-road only special that has a slip joint in it and 47-degree CV axle or CV joints in it. So naturally I went with those, so I hopefully never have to do this again. So that's what we're going to put in today. So as Taylor would say, enough jibber jabber, let's get to it. Before we dive into this project and you guys get too excited, this is not going to be another 40's Chop Shop style build with a full frame swap and engine swap and all that stuff. I'll show you what we are planning on doing with the truck, and you guys just let me know if there's anything else I should do. So wheels and tires, that was already addressed. These are the tires I'm sticking with, this size and this one. The offset of the wheels might change and the style will change. If you saw, this thing has very typical 90s Nissan paint. This stuff, I don't know. I've seen crayons that stick around better than this paint. The peeling is starting to get pretty severe over here on this side, and this is definitely something we're going to be addressing. My intention is to go with a wrap on this, and I do plan on doing it myself, so definitely follow along for that video. The other thing that I want to do, I will be building a full exhaust from this thing. Well, not full exhaust, but an exhaust from the catalytic converter's back. I do live in the Portland metro area, and that means I do need to pass emissions, and this truck has no problems passing emissions now, and I don't see any reason why it should in the future. So That, and then a few tasteful interior upgrades, and maybe just a little tiny lift. Nothing crazy. We're not going single axle. I'm not gonna do a frame swap. I'm not gonna do anything crazy like that. Maybe a 2-inch lift at most. But these things are kind of hard to lift while keeping good suspension geometry and ride quality. So we'll tackle that when we get there. So anyways, like I said, back to doing the maintenance that needs to get done first. Seriously, so awesome. I will link those in the description as well. All right, I think we might have identified a few problems already. One, this, which I think is part of the thrust washer, is split. That's not good. No idea where I'm going to find any of these components to replace. If I even can anywhere, probably have to get a whole new hub, which is not going to be cheap. And then secondly, I'm not too sure this is supposed to be so sloppy. So I'm going to continue taking this apart and go from there. Alright, pulling out this CV axle, and the factory service manual calls for pulling out the lower control arm and removing the torsion bar, and that sounds like entirely way too much work, and I'm a man, so I'm going to do it the difficult way and try and do it with a shortcut. So we'll see how successful I am. It's not shock blown. Shouldn't it be rebounding? Alright, next up we gotta break those guys loose. Those are the inner CV joint bolts that bolt to the front axle. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock those loose. We'll go from there. Also, you can already see how bad this CV joint is. Look at that. That's properly shagged. All right, well, I got the upper ball joint separated, and this is mostly out. I am going to have to pop this off, see if I can slide it out. So here we go. See what happens. All right, fuck yeah. Yes, got that darn axle out, and I didn't have to take the lower control arm or the torsion bar out, so woo. Let's take a little comparison look at the difference between the factory one that I am pulling out, or whatever cheap replacement that I bought, I can't remember, and the new one. So I'm replacing them with these Trakmotive. Here's your part number if you are interested. Forgive the airplane. And here's the difference between the two. The two most awesome features about these Trakmotive ones that I noticed when I was ordering them is, one, they have a slip joint or a slip yoke built into the CV axle, which is wild. That means I'll try and show a video of it, but this slip yoke allows stretch not only on the CV joint, but there's a shaft inside of this larger shaft, so it will slide in and out, and that's important for nothing for me, but if you off-road and things like that, and you have an extended droop on your suspension, that it'll give the CV axle more play before it starts putting stress on the CV joints. And then two, the other cool thing is these particular CV joints can flex up to 47 degrees instead of the traditional 23 degrees of a CV axle. So, and putting them next to each other, it's looking like they're the right ones. It said ABS tone ring was not included, but I didn't quite realize that on these Frontiers, the tone ring is built into the hub itself. So that's awesome. I don't have to knock the tone ring off and put it back on to keep ABS on my truck, which I will have on here. So, yeah, I guess just the reverse of that, follow the directions, and put it back together. All right, terrible video, but you get the idea. This slips right here at this yoke. There we go. Oh shit, what's that line? The other one just came out because it was broken. Whew. Oh no. Oh shit. That is such bad news. I knocked the fucking needle bearings out. Oh god. Alright, hold up. Okay, that was terrifying. So if you are installing these, I was able to get it in. New axle in. Looking hella beefy. I will warn you guys, if you are installing this, it probably is easier just to follow the directions. I didn't have to disconnect the torsion bar or the lower control arm, but I almost knocked the needle bearings out of this. So you have to be really careful when you're putting the end of the axle through the spindle, making sure that you don't knock any of the needle bearings out, and definitely give it a rotate before you bolt it up to the flange there and feel if you got any of those bearings knocked out. So, all right, just bolt everything back up and repeat on the other side. But I actually found out I gotta go. Hot Import Nights is here in town, and I didn't even know about it. So we're gonna impromptu go check that out. I might even upload some footage. So let's go. What's up? All right, guys, I got that other side back together. No issues, I don't think. Haven't had a chance to test drive it yet, but on this side, I think I know the trick for this side. Let's see, I gotta get, yeah, right here. All right, wow, that side was much easier. All done, everything's bolted down. These things confuse the heck out of me. I'm not really sure what's going on in there. There's a lot of components in there that look like they need to be replaced. But I think that's a job for another time. I'll throw the wheels back on and give it a test drive. All right, that wraps up the installation of the Trakmotive front CV axles. I will let you guys know how they perform. I gotta go find somewhere to test drive it. So hopefully the next video you see is a few cosmetic things that I've been looking forward to changing on the truck. I have to fix the fender flares and add some fog lights, and I got some new seals for the windows. I've been really excited to work on this truck for a few years now, but it's needed some maintenance and it's been my daily driver, so I'm really excited to jump into this project, and I hope you guys are too. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing.